so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. It is always auspicious to start every event with a lamp lighting ceremony to get the blessings of the God. So I would now like to invite Mr. Vineet Watts, VC, Vice Chairman, VSE&T, Dr. Ashwini Kumar, Director General, VSE&T, Professor Goldie Gabrani, Director, VSE&T, Professor Dipali Virmani, HOD, VSE&T, and Professor Supriya Madan. I would like to invite all these. Thank you. A big round of applause, everyone. Now I would like to invite Professor Dipali Virmani, HOD, VSE&T, for a welcome address.
Happy morning to one and all present here. My special regards to Honorable Chairman Sir, Vice Chairman Sir, Director General Sir, Director Ma'am, Dean VSIT, guests from NASCOM Foundations, and panelists for today. My due regards to all the faculty members of VSET and VSIT, and my dear lovely students. As you all know that VSTC is a big name that needs no introduction. Yet I would like to introduce our guests for the today with our VSTC Institute. VSTC, that is Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies Technical Campus, was founded 22 years ago on the ethos inspired by ideologies of Swami Vivekananda by Dr. S.C. Watts, our Honorable Chairman Sir, with an objective of man-making, character-making, and nation-building. At VSTC, we are having 8 verticals. These are schools of law and legal studies, School of Information Technology, School of Journalism and Mass Communication, School of Business Studies, School of Economics, School of English Studies, School of Engineering and Technology, Delhi School of Business. In all these verticals, we have more than 7,000 students with more than 270 faculty members. I am glad to share with all of you that recently we have been awarded NAC A++. Vivekananda School of Engineering and Technology has been established under aegis of VSTC in 2021 with an aim to achieve excellence in the field of technical education. Keeping in the pace with changing global needs and demands of new age technology, VSTC has introduced 4 BTech programs that are BTech in Computer Science and Engineering, BTech in AI and Data Science, BTech in AI and ML, and BTech in IIoT. We are affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University and approved by AICT. We have a team of highly qualified and dedicated faculty members who refine the students and guide them in all the domains. We at VSET help students to unleash their potential and refine the engineer within them with our 4 ethos: curiosity, creativity, capability, and contribution. Curiosity being the very first step of innovation, so at VSET we fan students' curiosity and help them to develop problem-solving mindset and encourage them to ask questions. We support students' idea and help them to think differently and contribute on their ideas. We encourage our students to embark on the journey of learning, transforming, and bringing a change together by becoming capable individuals who will contribute to the people, planet, and productivity and become morally and ethically sound professionals. We at VSE&T impart trainings to our students with an innovative direction to encapsulate the prescribed curriculum along with the courses beyond the curriculum, focusing on holistic development of the students. Our students are tuned to make hard work as their weapons to succeed in all the areas with the slogan of Utho, Jago और तब तक मत रुको जब तक लक्ष्य हासिल ना कर लो. I once again welcome all present here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your words. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Ashwini Kumar Sharma, Director General, WIPS TC, and Chairman, VSE&T and VSIT. So,
a very good morning to all of you. Vice Chairman Vinitva sir, Mrs. Gunjan Lal, Head Volunteering NESCOM, Mr. Prashant Kakkad, Senior Consultant, Skilling and Digital Literacy, Mr. Vijay Raghav, CEO and Founder, Fractal Works, my colleague Dr. Goldie, Dr. Supriya, Dr. Dipali, and all other colleagues, and of course, loving students. I think today indeed an event for us, because we are basically trying to focus on the ideas and the vision of our chairman sir, where he has been always trying to focus on innovations, startups, entrepreneurship. I remember whenever I meet, he always deliberate that how to ensure that our youth who are going through the different courses within the campus, whether it is a school of law, management, engineering, or whatever, how to basically inculcate a culture where they are self-sustainable and they contribute to the nation building and the character building. So I think that's the best part. And before I take up on startup, I think I must convey my sincere thanks to Sienna and the organizers of NESCOM who are here with us, who could basically select one of the student, and basically we are trying to cultivate the same culture in other schools also, and we expect that same support they will keep, and they will keep extending to us. As far as the startup is concerned, I think it is the initial stage of any business. And when we say startup, by name itself, it indicates that it is nothing. You are going to do something. You are trying to do some business. And once I say a startup, definitely you need to have entrepreneurship. That is the most important characteristic of the startup. And once I say entrepreneurship, it means you should be ready to have a risk-taking factor. You should be ready to take the risk. Because it is being always said, more risk, more gain. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to take a risk. Risk can be in terms of loss to you, maybe in terms of revenue loss, maybe in terms of image reputation loss, whatever it is. But somewhere you have to work out a strategy how to go for that. And once we are going for a startup, the second parameter which is more important is the funding. Now it can be through friends, it can be through a venture capitalist, or it can be through crowdfunding. So all the options are available to us. It is well known that Silicon Valley in USA is one of the known location which is known for startups, and especially the Silicon Valley. That's the reason we say you will find maximum venture funding over there. Now, if we see the past of India, we can see that during last 8-9 years, the concept of entrepreneurship, innovations, and startup has picked up like anything. And one of the reasons is that there are a lot of supporting government policies, like demonetization, that has led to a new concept of fintech. So again, there are many sectors which has grown up. Let's say pandemic, that has given birth to a education sector, edutech. So similarly, if we see in 2016-17, we had almost 700 startups. Now that number has gone more than 14,000 in last year. So I think there is a logarithmic, or there is a growth in the system which is visible more to us. And as on date, it is being understood that more than 61,000 startups are existing in 55 sectors and almost in 635 districts of the country. Now, what is more important when we are talking about a startup? The most important is the idea. You need to come out with an idea which you feel is more visible, more comfortable, and it can be implemented properly. And not only this, even we need to understand which is sellable in the market. Then second come is the location. Where are you planning? Suppose I want to start up a edutech startup somewhere in a village area. I think that will not be the right place. So somewhere we need to work out on location when we are planning for the startup. Then comes the legal structure, whether it will be a corporate sector, it will be an entity, it will be a public limited company, it will be a Section 8 company, or it will be something else. So we need to work on that also. And the most important is the funding part, as I said, that without funds, nothing can be taken up, because there is a risk which you have to take care, and for that, initially you can add on some money from your own pockets, maybe from relatives, but then you have to work out on a funding, how things has to go. Now, what is important is that startup leads to job satisfaction. This is the beauty of the startup, because you feel satisfied that you are able to take the risk, you are able to take the advantage of whatever initiative you have taken. And there is a possibility of leaving a legacy also. That leads to that. Now, there are many sectors where we could find that startups are coming up. The major part, the major sector which include is the fintech sector. As I said, after demonetization, as per the government policy, where it has become mandate that we have to go for online transactions, I think it has picked up like anything, because now all transactions are possible through online mode. And that's the reason there are almost more than 17 fintech unicorns. When I'm saying unicorns, the company which are having more than 1 billion business transactions. And then secondly, if we see, it is expected that fintech sector is likely to grow and touch upon almost $1.3 trillion. So once there is a scope for the growth, I think that's the right sector where we can start thinking. Let me tell you one thing more, which is very important, that any center of startup is not limited to only engineering student. It is open to any stream, because it is nothing to do with engineering. Yes, of course, technology plays an important role in the startups, but it is open to even law, it is open to any management, it is open to journalism, mass communication also, it is open to any other school also. And the best part is that you must have heard the names of many companies which are very much operating in fintech sector, like Razor Pay, maybe Pine Labs, maybe Policy Bazaar, which are well-known unicorns available in the market. Similarly, the edutech sector, especially after the COVID, when we were not allowed to go for a physical contact, we are not allowed to have education through a physical classroom, things have grown up like anything. And during this period only, many edutech companies have come into the market, and almost as on date, more than 3,000 edutech startups are operating. And out of these, 7 edutech sectors are unicorns. Again, they are operating in a business sector which is more than 1 billion. And it is expected that the edutech sector market is likely to grow maybe up to $4 billion. So I think there is again a scope in the edutech sector also. And there are already many unicorns known to all of us, which include the Byju, Unacademy, Lead, maybe Physics Wala also. Similarly, the third sector which is more important is the health sector. Because today, when we are talking about any activity, we can't go away with the health. Especially after the COVID, we have learned that has become a very crucial sector for all of us. So I think again, health sector, there are more than 7,000 startups. They have started going for activities which support to health sector in many terms. And there are almost more than 7 health unicorns in health sector. And it is expected that the health sector market will grow to almost $370 billion. So I think there is again a scope in the health sector. And companies like Practo, NetMass, Innovator, Pharma, EG, they all are basically well-known startups which have become a unicorn also. The fourth important sector which we could find was the logistics sector, and which is a logistics sector because we could see when during the COVID we were to make a movement of medicines and all support health activities, food grains, everything. So the logistics sector which basically take care of your movement of goods, items, and the logics behind that, that is picked up like anything. It is expected, it is known that almost more than 2,000 startups are operating in the logistics sector, and almost 6 logistics sector startups are unicorns as on date. Again, this sector has a growth in terms of, it is expected that in next 2 years, it will be touching somewhere a business of around $11 billion. Companies like Delivery, Black Buck, Ship Rocket, Livigo, they are the non-startups who have become a unicorn in this area. The most important sector, again, since we all come with the engineering background over here, sitting, we could feel that there is a term called, software as a service, information as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Now, these terms which are operating, they have given a rise to a new startup sector, which is basically nothing that is a enterprise tech sector, where the platform is being provided. You need not to purchase a software. Using a platform, you can operate your activities, you can perform your activities, whether it is a payroll, whether it is a MIS, whether it is a inventory, whether it is a ERP. So already many companies have started playing in this. Almost 17 unicorns are operating already in this in this sector of enterprise, and companies like Hasura, Dawnbox, Postman, Joho, they are already operating, they are providing services. It is understood that till now in India, we have almost more than 115 unicorns, and they are the startups, nothing, and all these startups are by the beginners like you only. So my only recommendation to all the youth over here, that start using technology which you are going through, whether it is AI, whether it is a machine learning, IoT, data science, whatever you are learning, you can deploy this technology to think of a new startup which can basically provide services, deliveries, mechanism to everyone. And the aim should be that we are able to serve the mankind. That is the best part. So I am sure with today's deliberations, which we listen from our experts over here, we will understand that startup is a new initiative which has to be taken up by students, because you can't be, our Honorable Prime Minister keeps saying that we can't depend upon the job being created by the government. So somewhere we have to become a job giver rather than a job seeker. And to become a job giver, we have to start thinking on the startups. There can be a failure in the beginning, but definitely in the long run, it turns around into a success, and I think that can lead to a growth of your career, and it can lead to basically, development of the job. With these words, I am once again thankful to SENA, NASCOM Foundation, and of course our management for giving this valuable and golden opportunities to students to understand and start thinking on the startups, how to plan for that. And I am also congratulate the student who has got a initiative and support by NASCOM for a startup, and I am sure other students will follow the student, will try to come out with more startups in times to come. With these words, thanks to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Now that we have the blessing of the gods and the guidance from our esteemed senior faculty, we're going to begin with our workshop. So thank you so much for coming, everyone. This is a workshop for you guys. We have planned this workshop, our innovation Mela, to all the students. This is going to be very informal. And just before we begin this workshop, since we're going to have a very good connect with you guys, we have a live poll planned for you. So if you all can just take out your phones and scan this QR code, you're going to be taken to a poll page where you can directly poll with these options. So the first question is actually open to everyone, even our esteemed faculty and our judges and panelists can also attempt it. The last two might only be for students. So we'll see. I hope everybody is logged in. If somebody is having issues, please raise your hand. All right, yeah. Okay. Can you ask your friend to poll? Oh, okay. That's fine. I'll do the poll for you. Just shout out your answer. Cool. So we'll go towards the questions now. I hope everybody's logged in. The first question, best series to binge watch right now. We're very excited. We are bored at NASCOM Foundation. We've been doing so much work lately, having so many workshops. We want to know the best series to binge watch right now. So just give us your votes because we really do want to watch some good series. Okay, so we have 45% for Wednesday, then 25% for Friends. I might say not really agreeing with the Friends here, but definitely with the Modern Family and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Okay, so there's a clear-cut winner for Wednesday. I see all of you have gotten on the bandwagon, the Netflix bandwagon of watching Wednesday. All right, so we move to the next question now. Now this is solely for the students. Which is the best place to hang out in and around WIPS? We're asking this because we have just come first time to your campus and we really want to know what's the best place to hang out. We don't know where to go. Although I've been to Majnu Ka Tila, it's pretty good, but I want to know how that Maggie tastes at Maggie Point. I heard a ground to hai nahi. What's the green patch here? What do you call that? Green place to sit on. All right, so I think we have ground as the winner here. Then we have Maggie Point coming in close with a 26%. Cool. I think I have to try that Maggie with our esteemed panelists. So thank you so much for that poll. And finally, one last question, which I think is going to make things a little fiery. The third question we have for you is, WIPS students, what is the best society? This is going to have a lot of fights in our auditorium. And I hope that's okay. Okay, oh my God, 60%, 56% to code. I didn't know you guys were coders. Where's the fashion society? Andaz, Rangmanch, what are you guys doing? There's 48% for code. We have innovators. All right, so a clear-cut winner is code. So let's just say you guys have a bright future ahead because all of you guys are coders and I really like that. But I would have loved to see Andaz here because I wanted to join a fashion society also. But that's that. So thank you so much for joining into this poll. A great round of applause for everybody. You've been a great sport throughout. Cool. Now going back to our presentation, this is going to be a very quick presentation because we really want to give you guys an idea of what we are doing here at the CNS Spaces program. Okay. So what are we doing today? Today is Innovation Mela, where we're celebrating the spirit of innovation. At CNS Spaces, what we do is we mentor teams, we give them replenishments, we give them support throughout our cohort-based program. So you guys come to us with application ideas, we select the best of them, and the ones which are really, really good with a lot of potential, we give you guys all the funding, all the business mentoring, and all the investor connects that you need to make your startup into an actual business that is incorporated with the government. Now, what are our objectives? So, we really want, and as Dr. Ashwini sir also said, we really want to make you guys job creators rather than job seekers. So, once you have a startup sort of mindset in you guys, how many of you guys have had a startup idea in the last week after watching Shark Tank or maybe some other TV show? I see one hand, but he just went down and grazed his beard because he was a little skeptical about his idea maybe. Do you have an idea, a startup idea? Okay, he doesn't now, but he did a minute back. See, this is the spirit of startup ideas. You get a startup idea when you're taking a shower, going on a long walk, right? And something clicks in you, something clicks, you know, you're facing a problem, you're facing an issue that is faced by a lot of students, a lot of people around you, and you want to solve that. So you want to create a startup, you want to solve a problem rather than focusing on a solution. So that is what we're doing here. We're trying to build hands-on skills in emerging technologies, using the new technologies, the fastest technologies, so that you can make best startups, the best solutions for the problems that people are facing locally. Which brings me to my next point, create local solutions to local problems. So any problem that you're facing, any problem that you've seen around you, you can solve that, and we're going to help you with that. And finally, we also want to accelerate student entrepreneurship. So coming back to my point, job creators rather than job seekers. Now, these are the outcomes of our program. So we're fostering an innovation mindset, as I already said, taking ideas to incorporation. So all the startup ideas that you have, we give you funding to get it incorporated as a startup with the government, which is a very lengthy and a very costly process. We help you throughout the whole journey. We also turn you, as I already said, job seekers into job creators and building products for social needs. Now that is very important, right? Because we're students right now. And the only thing we focus on is making money, right? We want to make money as quickly and as easily as possible. But we never really focus on our social needs. Well, let me tell you, the biggest, you could say, the satisfaction that you get in your life would be focusing on social problems and making money out of it. And that is what we help you here at the Sienna Spaces program in partnership with NASCOM Foundation. Now, this is a brief idea of our whole cohort. How does it look? When does it start? How many people can apply? So we start our application launch in August, September. That's tentative. Where we have workshops on design, we have ideathons, we help you guys with coming up with an idea, right? And then when we've gotten all these applications, we select the top applications for the learning track. Now the learning track is the ideation phase, where you actually work on ideas of entrepreneurship, you work on requirement gathering, and you wireframe. Wireframe is basically making the design of the app, not coding it, but just designing it with Figma. I know a lot of you might know Figma. Then we move on to the product track, which is tentatively in December, January, where we have workshops on product development. Now, this is the phase where you actually work on the product. All of us at NASCOM Foundation, we are here to support you throughout the journey. We have mentors, we have business mentors, we have technical mentors who help you throughout the journey. Even if you don't know coding, we also have an internship program, so we can help you get the interns that you need. Then we quickly go to the startup track, which is the full throttle phase. Here is where you actually make your idea into a startup. You get it incorporated. You find the people that you need. You find the product market fit, whether the product market exists for your problem, whether the solution exists. And finally, if you are part of the top 5, you get felicitated with a very huge cash prize. Okay? And with that, we start with the incubation process and the further process. So all in all, a very easy cohort-based program, a very easy program to get into, and very resourceful and very helpful for all the students who actually have an idea and want to work on it as a startup. Now, this is our program offerings, what we are actually offering to you guys. Okay, so we run an 18 months program in 9 universities in Delhi. We engage with 100 students in providing expert training and mentoring on emerging technologies. We also fund your prototype costs, so any costs that you conquer during your whole product journey, we will give you that. Whether you need hosting for your cloud servers, whether you need 3D printers, whether you need nuts and bolts for your 3D project, we will give you that. And finally, as I already mentioned, 6 lakhs of seed funding and incubation for the top 5 startups. That's 6 lakh for you guys. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Now, this was a program offerings. Now what we're asking from you, we're asking, okay, I think that's the wrong slide. Yeah, we're asking nothing. Okay, so I'd like to emphasize on this nothing. We're actually asking nothing from you guys. We don't want equity like the Shark Tank investors. We don't want nothing. We just want you guys to come up with the best ideas, because we love ideas at Sienna Spaces. We love ideas at NASCOM Foundation. And that is what we're asking. We're asking nothing. Just come up with the best ideas. Now, this is an in-person workshop that we're going to be doing today. We're going to have a panel discussion here by our esteemed judges and the panelists. Knowledge sharing by the resource peoples. We're going to connect with like-minded individuals, students who can start up together. We're also going to have a Q&A session with you guys. So if you have any questions from your senior faculty or anything that you might have a question from our team as well, please feel free to ask that. All right. So now we're going to begin with our panel discussion. Now for our panel discussion, I would like to first invite our moderator for the panel discussion, Ms. Gunjan Lal, Head of Volunteering, NASCOM Foundation. Gunjan.
Thank you, Hardik. Good afternoon, everyone. So, to invite our panelists, first I would like to invite Mr. Vijay Raghav Varada, the CEO and founder of Fractal Works. Mr. Vijay Varada is an inventor, storyteller, and entrepreneur who founded Fractal Works, a 3D printing company that caters to personal and industrial use. He combines art, design, and technology to deliver unique products and solutions in various industries. Vijay actively contributes to open source hardware projects, particularly assistive technologies for the blind and renewable energy. He won many accolades, including Best Product at the Hackaday Prize 2017 and 2018, and embarked on an expedition to Antarctica with a 3D printable wind turbine. Vijay is also an author and TEDx speaker with books published in multiple languages furthering the cause of innovative engineering. Welcome on board, Vijay. Now I would like to invite Mr. Vineet Vats, VC Vice Chairman, VSE&T. Can we now have Professor Dr. Goldie Gabrani, Director, VIPS? Professor Goldie Gabrani is a highly experienced and accomplished educator with over 30 years of teaching experience in higher education institutions such as Delhi College of Engineering, Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology, and BML Murtal University. She holds a BE, ME, and PhD degree from Delhi College of Engineering and has taught undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD students. Her expertise lies in institution building, strategic planning, and academic programs, innovating learning. She is a technology enthusiast who has published numerous research papers in national and international journals, developed working projects, and filed multiple patents. Now I would like to invite Mr. Prashant Kakkar, Senior Consultant, Skilling and Digital Literacy, NASCOM Foundation. Prashant is an experienced entrepreneur and business leader with over 26 years of experience in various industries, including education, skill development, telecom, airlines, and textiles. He has a proven record in establishing, scaling up services organizations to over 15 crores top line with above industry operating margins and high-led businesses. Prashant is an adaptable and quick to learn in startups and challenging environments with a focus on transformation, curriculum development, program monitoring and evaluation, and setting up governance structures towards building 21st century skills. Yes. Welcome on board, all of you. Thank you everyone for coming and joining us today. Today our major points of discussion would be technology, entrepreneurship, and social impact. But to begin with, and bring the entire audience and with the same page, let's kind of try to understand from you, Dr. Goldie, what is social entrepreneurship and how is it different from, the general or the entrepreneurship?
Okay, thank you, Gunjan. I think it's a very basic question, and most of the students here would be interested in this. So there are two types of entrepreneurship, the social entrepreneurship and the general one. So the basic difference to all my students, I would like to tell you, it's a difference between profit and purpose. When we talk about social entrepreneurship, the purpose is very important. And whereas when we talk about general entrepreneurship, we think mostly on return on investment. However, in both of these, we have to apply our entrepreneurship skills, operations and processes. So what do you do in social entrepreneurship? You will first find out a social cause, what problem you want to solve, and who are your target, whether it's a child-related problem or it's a teenager-related problem or a woman empowerment. So, and what kind of change you can bring out, right? And the second, I think I would like to tell you the important difference. How do you measure the success of a company? Let's say it's a normal company, a general company. Obviously, you'll see what profit maximization is the objective, so you'll see what is the profit. And in social-based ventures, so how many people, what are the impact on society? That is most important. So just remember two words, purpose versus profit, in very simplest terms. I think students must have understood the basic difference.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
I
you.
think that was to the point and very crisp.
Yeah.
Prashant, for you, as ma'am shared, that there are, when it comes to social entrepreneurship, there are multifold benefits and all. What is your thought on it, the multidimensional approach when it comes to, the social entrepreneurship?
Hi. I think before I try and even attempt to answer what ma'am said and to extend what ma'am and what you're asking, let's just get to the crowd. What's your take on social entrepreneurship? Crowd, you are the learner and you all are supposed to be now getting into this space. Can we involve them?
We really need some active audience here.
Yes, and maybe I can do the honors of coming there. Who could do the honors?
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
who could?
see, please be interactive, students, please.
I think I want this to become a little more dialogue-based. We are not gods over here. We are equally running the life with some amount of our own learnings, some amount of our own understandings that we've been able to evolve. And I'm sure to whatever little success that we've made, I'm sure you all will make it in that similar space a few years down the line. So I think it's very important, Gunjan, that if we can get the audience involved rather than this crossed conversations. So any impressions that you all have about what is social entrepreneurship and perhaps what would it really lead to for yourselves as you grow in this journey that you all are aiming to go for, am I right? Does that make meaning, Gunjan?
Yes.
Yeah. So can I have volunteers? Who would want to? Please raise your hands. Who would
Anyone
want to answer
from
this?
the audience?
Please. We are here. At least I am not here for
I'm sure
a
you
one-way.
don't want Prashant to hand over the mic to you
Yeah. A
randomly,
one-way.
so it's better to volunteer.
A one-way dialogue. No, I'm not here for a one-way dialogue. And while we might be, as I'm mentioning again, while we might have an edge and an experience in some pieces that we've been able to do in our journey over the last 25, 30 years, I'm sure there would be a different kind of an experience sitting on this side. And imagine the number of brains sitting over here collectively. That will be far larger as compared to the four of us over here. That's for sure. So collective wisdom really counts for me at least. I'm sure even for the panelist. Am I right? So go ahead. Who wants to answer? Yeah.
Coming up with viable ideas which can solve social issues which the society is currently facing, and wherever there's a gap between the market and what the services are providing, which are not properly able to cater to the needs of the users. So we can invent and innovate for.
Who else would want to kind of take a dig at it? Please, from your own limited or unlimited understanding that you all have evolved with. Please, you all are here to take part, right? I'm presuming you all are here to take part and be active in this whole journey, right? So, who volunteers next? Yes, hands up. Come on. I'll go to the backbenchers first. Chalo, let's start from the backbench. Gunjan, can I take the honors?
All yours.
Thank you. Backbenchers, because this is what I did in college or in school. So, anybody over here who wants to volunteer? Come on. Bataiye. I'm sure you're here for some fun, but fun could be learning as well alongside. Bataiye. Please, go ahead. Please. Come on. Dije.
Social entrepreneurship can be something, normal entrepreneurship, normally we solving a problem, but not all problems can be solved with normal entrepreneurship. Like social issues are not.
So could you name some of the social issues around where you live?
So like air pollution.
Air pollution.
Air
Okay.
pollution. With normal entrepreneurship, there is no incentive for us, for normal companies to fix up the air pollution. So a company, a social entrepreneur could come up with a purpose of solving Delhi's air pollution problem.
Correct. And you'll have to see it in so many dimensions. So good.
Or so it could also be like air pollution, or also SDGs
Okay.
are also one issues that are laid out by the UN that entrepreneurs can work on for building a social entrepreneurship.
Great. Who else? Anybody else in this learner group?
Good evening, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir, sorry. सर मेरा व्यू सोशल एंड और मतलब इस चीज़ पे ये है कि मतलब हमें प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट भी देखना है और मतलब हमें उसमें प्रॉफिट भी निकालना है और हमें मतलब वैल्यू प्रोवाइड करनी है मोर सोसाइटी।
थोड़ा सा और लाउडली बोल सकते हैं ताकि सब लोग सुन पाए?
सर मेरा इसमें मेन व्यू ये है कि हमें अपना प्रॉफिट भी निकालना है और मेन एम है कि हमें इसमें हमने वैल्यू प्रोवाइड करनी है सोसाइटी को।
वैल्यू प्रोवाइड करनी है सोसाइटी को।
Yes.
सोसाइटी को वैल्यू प्रोवाइड करना है, उसमें से हमें अपनी भी वैल्यू निकालना है। Am I right?
हाँ जी सर।
That's what you are here for,
Yes.
collectively, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. That's great. So Gunjan, does that make meaning? Right? So I think the learners are there, not over here, and therefore I'm sorry, I've taken a bit of a segue, a leverage. It's okay, right? Please, thanks so much, Gunjan. Next question. I'm sure we'll be all here to take part in helping to understand and kind of unpeel this whole piece, because I think it's important for us to understand how do you start to see social innovations as one of a different segue into what a for-profit organization does. So, and I think a large chunk of what Dr. Sharma mentioned was all in the for-profit context. All those examples of the unicorns, all the examples of all that he said, and he's absolutely right in saying what he is. The idea is that you have to start seeing it in parallel, because there are these parallel universe happening where a whole bunch of, as what this gentleman at the back said, air pollution, there are many companies working on air pollution. There are many companies who are working on education, skilling, a whole bunch of education in terms of edtech. They could be also on a social angle to an edtech space. So I think you'll have to all kind of help understand it at a more holistic level rather than just for a for-profit piece. Does that make meaning?
Thank you so much, Prashant. My next question is for you, Vijay. When you started your entrepreneurship journey and while you were looking into, products being made for the larger audience, know, and I think I've seen I've watched a few TED Talks, and you made certain products to kind of benefit for a certain segment of the society, like Tipo was one of it, which was a Braille keypad, So how did that journey started, and what kind of really motivated you to think in that direction? If you could share your...
Thank you so much for watching my videos. I think at the core, I'm an engineer, and I think one of the most important things that we are taught in engineering is root cause analysis. Does anybody over here remember root cause analysis? Any mechanical engineers here? Raise your hand. Mechanical engineers.
Do we have any chemical engineers?
See, anybody who knows what is root cause analysis? I have taught you. Please go to your course. Anyone?
Okay, just in case you've forgotten, let me tell you.
Please,
okay, great, okay.
Please, what is root cause analysis?
It's a mic.
Can we give the mic?
Good morning, panelists.
Loudly.
Root cause analysis is analysis that is conducted to find the root cause of a problem. We studied 5 whys in this. We answer the problem in whys, why this happened 5 times to find the root cause of the
So that is one of the methods. Any more methods? You have studied many.
Fishbone.
Fishbone analysis, okay. This is not an exam, so you can be free. Please be open. This is not an exam.
Very, very good. Let me tell you, as engineers, one of the most important things that you can leave college with is the knowledge of root cause analysis. And just again, you don't have to like go into 5-why, fishbone diagram, and just on a very, almost basic level, if you can understand, asking, getting to the root, getting to the source of a problem. When my own teammates try and solve a problem, I tell them that you are really putting a bandage on something and not really solving a root cause. Say for example, it's like if you're a doctor and cancer is causing skin lesions, you are applying cream, but rather than actually trying and curing the cancer. So it's like really understanding the root of the problem, and I think as an engineer, that's what really I took from engineering. And just when I was sort of faced with, or rather came across problems, I think how I came across the problems which exist with visually impaired people, I was in a conference in Delhi. My uncle was working with UNESCO, and he had called me for a conference on persons with disabilities, talking about policy, everything around persons with disabilities. And I had a conversation. I had dinner with somebody who's blind, and it was an amazing conversation. And at the end of that conversation, she wanted to take my number, and I was surprised by how difficult it was for her to use a smartphone. And this was I think 2017, 2018, and I was like, this is the 21st century, and it can't be this difficult for somebody to use a smartphone. And that is really where the inception for the idea occurred. And then sort of that problem solving mindset of an engineer took over and sort of.
So one side is to understand engineering from a technical side. Sorry. So one side, and that's for all of you all to understand. One side is to understand the technical side of engineering and the engineering at the core side of what civil could be, what mechanical could be, and all of those other material understanding. But I think the more important part that you all have to also in parallel build is this ability to be agile, to be adaptive, the other broader skills that are needed along with engineering. I think that the broader skills are where we all tend to ignore, because I think we are marked more on what we vomit out in our engineering courses and from the technical side of it. I think therefore the focus shifts from making it a more holistic approach than looking at it from a more yeah. So, and that's where I think I would urge all of you all to understand that, look, 20 years down the line, nobody will talk to you in terms of, अरे वो civil engineering में वो सरिया का 3 mm का था या 5 mm का था. I think it's at a broader level. How do you build for sustainable buildings and green buildings? I think that's the more larger eye that you have to be working with. And उसमें आप 3 mm का सरिया लगाओ या 4 mm का सरिया लगाओ, doesn't really matter at this point in time. So it's important for you to understand the broader ambit in which you are learning engineering, which to me is where it stands. I don't know how much of it is making meaning to all of you all, but I'm trying to kind of give you some perspectives of where I have been able to kind of grow in my own personal journey, from being a management student to looking at education to looking at a business out of education. I think that's where it stands.
I think sir pointed out a very interesting thing, and I'm a very proud engineer, and I think engineering is a very proud field, and all of you as engineers should feel proud, because this is one of the only professions that you are taking core science that scientists develop in laboratories and apply it to the real world. You guys are all application people, and you have the responsibility to apply whatever you're learning here, whatever you are absorbing from the external world, and actually solve real world problems. And I think that's a very noble thing as a profession.
I'll just ask one question. Anybody knows any social entrepreneur of India? Please.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, recently Ratan Tata started a social startup.
Loudly.
The mic is not working.
Ma'am, recently Ratan Tata started a social startup named Good Fellows. जो मैम बेसिकली ओल्ड एज पीपल्स के लिए होता था. जो लोनली ओल्ड एज पीपल है उनके लिए मैम एक मेंटोर या फिर एक पार्टनर जो असाइन करते थे रतन टाटा ने और शांतनु जी ने स्टार्ट किया था सोशल स्टार्टअप गुड फेलोज नेम.
Good. Anyone else? Any other student? See, we have so many social entrepreneurs. Please, today when you go back, go on websites, go on Google and search and read their stories, okay?
Or maybe the other way around, ma'am. Let's try and understand what are their aspirations from a social enterprise.
Okay, anyone.
And let's see, sorry Gunjan, we are hijacking your
Anyone?
piece back and forth. It'll help you only, in a way. So from your end, learners, I would call you all as that at this present moment. Or maybe the learned, for those who have already started some businesses sitting in this crowd. So anybody who would kind of be volunteering to know from your side, yeah, let's hear them, ma'am.
Please. First, anyone here in the crowd who wants to be an entrepreneur or want to start their own startup? Anyone?
Yes, please, right at the back.
Please. So can you come in front?
That's perfectly fine, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I think he'll influence the backbenchers a little bit, to my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
सर अभी तो मैंने मतलब सोचा था स्ट्रीट डॉग्स के अडॉप्शन के लिए कुछ एक ऐप सा बनाना है.
किसके लिए?
स्ट्रीट डॉग्स के अडॉप्शन के लिए.
Screen talks.
स्ट्रीट डॉग्स.
Street dogs.
Street
Okay,
dogs.
okay, sorry.
हाँ जी सर.
Okay, street dogs के लिए एक ऐप बनाना है.
हाँ सर उनके
Adoption के लिए.
हाँ जी सर.
Adoption.
Okay, all right. So, and what is the larger societal goal that you have? Okay, this is one great idea, but how have you been able to kind of chisel down at a larger macro picture of this?
सर अभी मतलब इतना ज़्यादा सोचा नहीं.
अभी सोचा नहीं है. Okay, but good. At least there's a seed of an idea there. Okay, all right. Who else? I'm sure there will be many brilliant ideas sitting there, and believe you me, the 4 brains here are very small as compared to the collective sense over there. I'm sure there would be many. And there's nothing right or wrong about it, so no need to be shy. I think that's the first quality of an entrepreneur. Never be shy. You keep marrowing in the air. Don't worry. कहीं ना कहीं जाकर के अटकेगा. Any more thoughts? No. Gunjan, start. So maybe they'll get some more ideas from there.
Yeah. So, Vijay, while we're talking about the social entrepreneurship journey, do you think that there are any takers in the market, if they want to start their social journey, will there be, one is, of course, we do a lot of projects with NASCOM Foundation, like under Sienna Spaces and Cisco Incubator, and there are many such programs. But how is that they can really make benefit out of, or the investors, from that aspect, if you can cover?
So, I mean, I'll just, probably the other people on this panel are better to answer this question, but from my perspective as a business owner, I know a lot of conversation is now going on about ESGs, about the triple bottom line. Do you know what the bottom line is? Anybody knows what the bottom line is? I did not also know for the first 3 years of being an entrepreneur, so I did not have any. Basically, bottom line is the profit that you make after the company. So people are now talking about not only profit, but profit, people, and planet. And not only being able to profit as a company, but how are you sustainable? How are you giving back to your employees, giving back to the society around you? So these are all conversations that are not just going on in the mind of social entrepreneurs, but also entrepreneurs like me that have to think about, okay, is my product sustainable? After the end of life, can it be disposed in a sustainable way? And see, these are all sort of things that even investors are looking in, and especially if you're looking at investors in Europe, other countries, they're talking about, again, your ESG compliance, your environment, social, and governance. How are you impacting all of these key areas? And even to be able to sell products today, it is even a marketing thing to be able to be sustainable, and even consumers are a lot more conscious about the kind of products that they purchase. I am in a field of 3D printing. A lot of times people ask me, is my material biodegradable? Can it be recycled? So the world is changing, and these are not only aspects that social companies need to take into account, but companies at large. And I think even the CSR initiatives by large corporations is sort of that. Every single company has an element of social good attached to it. If you look at, say, Patagonia as a fashion company, 1% of their revenue goes into environmental causes. And there are multiple companies like this that are investing back into the environment social good.
In fact, to my understanding, how many of you all know Nike? Nike? How many of you all know Nike as a shoe brand or what, apparel brand? Yeah? And how many of you all know that Nike does some sustainable business range now in shoes? They recycle plastic. Are you aware? How many of you all are aware of this? Hands up. Come on. Yeah. So what is the story like? Please tell me. Please. बताइए क्या है ये? Please. Yeah. Okay. So since you all would only know big brands and their offshoots, it's best to kind of approach it from that angle.
So I just read an article about it that what Nike is doing, that they're taking the waste like plastic and many other things, and what they're doing is they're renewing it by making shoes. And many real celebrities, like they were supporting it, they were like NBA players, they were wearing it and show a support to this. So I think this is a kind of social, what you're talking about, social entrepreneurship, and a good way to, they are an entrepreneur, but they're changing to a social cause. They take a social cause and make something profit about it, so that our environment is getting benefit about it. So just I read a little about it. And
fantastic. And where does tech come in all of this? Oh yeah, at the back. He wants to say something.
सर ये एक PR मॉडल भी तो हो सकता है उनकी तरफ से. PR मॉडल, मतलब एक अपनी इमेज को मतलब अच्छा,
it's like a PR image.
सर मतलब मुझे लगता है कि सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप जैसी मतलब चीज़ शायद अभी तो किसी में नहीं होगी, क्योंकि सबको एट द एंड प्रॉफिट ही कमाना होता है.
सबको इन द एंड प्रॉफिट ही चाहिए.
मतलब मेरे हिसाब से अभी जितना मेरे को नॉलेज है.
अच्छा.
शायद मे भी बाद में.
So I think there's nothing wrong in being a marketing and PR image thing also. As long as at the end you're actually doing something good in the environment or for or public good. Corporations definitely need some amount of incentivization to do anything. Definitely it is profit. But how, again, I spoke about again the triple bottom line, different ways of making the profit. Again, now European companies are going to be incentivized in terms of either carbon credits or depending on how much carbon they're putting out in the environment. They're going to be penalized for how bad they are or incentivized for being how good they are. And in a way, I mean, it might be that yes, this is Nike's publicity and PR image, but ultimately they are doing something good in the environment. I think ultimately that is what matters. As long as, I mean, the question was about investors, right? Investors, the people who are investing in your company, either their customers or financial institutions. The fact that these institutions, customers and financial institutions are now looking at companies from more lenses than just profit is the important factor.
The start point, right? It could be just that this entity might just start with this knowledge and this technology that they have built to kind of now slowly expand in their multiple product offerings. So it need not necessarily be, so these are small but very critical steps in what, as Vijay was saying, in terms of understanding what it means to be compliant with the climate, compliant with I mean, I think the responsibility first comes to yourself and then to the world outside. I think that's the spirit in which all of these things have been done. Does it make meaning to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Okay.
Thank you, Prashant. Thanks, Vijay. So I think there are few students who had asked that, okay, working for the society and, being a social entrepreneur is good, but how do, at the end of the day, to make profits? Can it be profitable? Can we use technology? So, Goldie ma'am, if you would like to answer that how they can use the technology to scale up the social entrepreneurship and make it profitable as well.
See, I think this is technology, we all know, is very, very important. Mainly for two things, I would say. One is economies of scale. If you really want to scale out your businesses, you have to have, make use of technology, maybe social networks, mobile apps, whatever you talk about, internet. And second is synergies. So because see, when you start any business, it has many stakeholders. It has investors, it has promoters, founders, thought leaders, influencers. So the synergy among them is very, very important. See, what we want in this chain, when we have to create value, the sum value of all the stakeholders, everybody should be benefited rather than each link, because each link has to be strong. So for this technology can be used for economies of scale, building synergies, and all of us are now using, we have seen edutech, as edutech industry has grown during pandemic. So they have made use of only digital technologies. Digital literacy is again very important. And if we go to, for even countries like India, where farmers are there, agri-tech business, they need reports on, let's say, sowing schedules. They need reports on weather information, so that for better harvest. Or if you go to coastal areas, the fishing business, if they know in advance the tsunamis or storms, so obviously they can plan better. As I was talking to Mr. Prashant in the morning, he was saying that they are into digital literacy a big way, the NASCOM Foundation, because till now, obviously the challenges are there, the bandwidth has not reached to our villages, but as the privileged members of the society, we all are working towards, taking bandwidth, taking internet technologies, taking social media networks, taking mobiles, driven devices to our people living in rural areas. So this is going to be there. Without technology, difficult to survive. We have to use technology at all the levels. That's my take.
So Professor Goldie, I'm just wanting to just add one more piece in this, and Gunjan, even to your question that you just said, I'm sorry I'm butting in like this. How would you define profit, my friends? What is profit for you? Yeah, go ahead. What's profit?
Sir, there are many aspects. I would like to ask कि 10 रुपए की पैरासीटामोल भी बिकती है और 50 रुपए की मतलब वो सेम गोली किसी और नाम से ही बिकती है, तो ये तो हमारे ऊपर है ना कि हमें एक प्रोडक्ट से कितना प्रॉफिट कमाना है.
तो प्रॉफिट आपके लिए पैसा है. Anybody else? What is profit? I mean, I'm so curious to know, how do you see and how do you define profit? Yes, at the back. And some more people to participate. Let's understand that. Everybody has an equal hand over here, please. Yeah.
सर प्रॉफिट अब एक तो मनी वाली वो हो गई, और दूसरा हम जैसे हम सोशल में इम्पैक्ट डालेंगे तो उसमें भी जो लोगों को फ़ायदा होगा वो भी एक तरह से हम प्रॉफिट ही करेंगे.
वो भी एक तरीके से प्रॉफिट ही कहते हैं ना उसको, कि जितने लोगों को हम फ़ायदा कर पाएँ उसको भी एक प्रॉफिट का ही डेफिनेशन मिलता है ना. अच्छा, और क्या होता है प्रॉफिट? हाँ जी, द वन हियर. Yes, ma'am.
So profit can be the value added in a product or a service that we provide.
Perfect. So profit can be a value added in a product that
Hello?
itself becomes, in a way, a slice of profit as an understanding to you, right, ma'am?
Tangible and non-tangible benefits. It can be tangible and non-tangible benefits added.
Hello?
You can get better reputation in the market for providing the services. You can get better reputation in the market if you provide better and good quality services to the customers. So these are non-tangible benefits.
So imagine the non-tangible benefits like what ma'am is saying here becomes a profit in itself. That itself will help you kind of self-sustain the growth of the company by the imagery itself. Could that be termed as profit? Imagery. That's also a kind of a profit only, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Those who say yes, please raise your hands. And those who say no, acha. Those who have not raised their hand means no, you don't agree? Or you don't want to take part just now? Okay, anyway, my only take was profits can be defined in multiple ways. And as you can see, in a small cohort, yes.
सर कोई लूज कर रहा है और हम गेन कर रहे हैं, सिंपल डेफिनेशन प्रॉफिट का ये हो सकता है.
हाँ, that's a very basic one, but I'm looking at a little more mature definitions of profit from a business standpoint, from a more young adult standpoint. ठीक है?
प्रॉफिट.
Yeah, profit.
बेसिकली मेरे हिसाब से प्रॉफिट होगा गेन इन लूज. आप गेन कर रहे हो, मैं लूज कर रहा हूँ.
वो क्या हो सकता है? आप क्या गेन कर रहे हो, वो दूसरा क्या लूज कर रहा है?
मनी.
सिर्फ पैसा?
हाँ.
सिर्फ पैसा? पैसा is defined as profit?
हाँ,
नहीं ना? So that's what ma'am is saying, that's what the gentleman at the back is saying. Yes, please.
Hello.
Sir, according to me, profit is not only on the basis of money, but also, like, sir, for example, when I purchase something, as a customer, I want the services from the provider, and in return, the provider gives me his services, and in exchange, I give them money. So, for example, if I buy a product, like for example, I buy a chocolate from Cadbury, I want that the flavor should be as good as its price. That is why the price increases, and according to that, they gain the profit of, their fame that and the quality of quality assurance that they get from people and their like for example, Cadbury has a name that they are Cadbury. That is what I think profit is.
I've just wanted to just kind of have you all seed in this thought that profit could be in multiple dimensions to multiple people, and that's also required when you're setting up businesses as to what is the profit you want out of this business. Is it only money or is it more than money? So you have to kind of open up these dialogues and thinking caps. And it's important for you all to kind of run through some of these pieces as you start to develop your own venture. Is it making meaning, Vijay ma'am? Vijay sir?
So coming back to you, Vijay, what have been the kind of challenges and opportunities that one could have, as a social entrepreneur?
So I can talk about entrepreneurship in general. I don't necessarily consider myself a social entrepreneur in itself. I do other open source
So maybe,
work.
yeah, as an entrepreneur.
But I often tell people, if I knew what it would take to, get to here, be an entrepreneur, I might not have started. But let me tell you the biggest thing that you have on your side, and I'm telling you from somebody who was in college not too long ago, who started a company within college, who if you get through this incubation program, you will be getting more money than what I had starting the company. That you have an amazing opportunity before you in Sienna Spaces and to discover something about yourself that you might not have. I was the typical engineer that wanted to do his master's, go and study in the US, get a decent job, and I was proper research-oriented engineer. Like that's all I wanted to do in life. I had built a product, or I wouldn't call it a product, it was a project. I had built it for myself, my own satisfaction. But it just happened to have a broader appeal to people. And I won a business plan competition. The college gave me 5 lakhs and gave me incubation. I was in third year of college. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm not sure of what is this entrepreneurship thing, but like it sounds interesting. I might not have this opportunity. At the very least, it'll look good on my CV. I will get into a good master's college. That was my perspective. But the more I got into the first paycheck that I got, first customer who paid, it was an addictive experience. And there are a bunch of challenges on the way. I mean, I was only into tech. I had to eventually learn about finance. What is profit and loss, debit and credit? How do you read a balance sheet? How do you make a cash flow statement? All this came much later. Like I said, I did not know what a bottom line is until the third or fourth year of entrepreneurship. So it's an incredible learning journey. I think obviously for the first few years, I did not make any money for myself or my team, but I would constantly tell myself that I'm not measuring myself by how much money that I'm taking home, but am I learning as much as possible? I saw it as, okay, fine, I'm paying for my MBA in experience. But, those are the things that, you need to keep telling yourself, to keep yourself going. It is one of the most, I think, accelerated ways of learning possible, and not only learning in one field, you are sort of understanding how the world works. I call it understanding how the machine works, the machine of the world, how economies work, how markets work, how products work, how people work. I think the most gratifying thing about being an entrepreneur was my understanding of human beings, my team, my customers evolved to a level that I did not even think that needed to happen. But those are the things that even took my game forward as an entrepreneur. And I think, again, events like this and what NASSCOM is doing, what Sienna Spaces is doing is amazing. It's an amazing opportunity, because you might be sitting here in the audience not even knowing that, I don't even want to get into business, I'll get into a job. But this might be an opportunity for you to even discover that entrepreneurship is something that you might have an inkling to. Because if you are somebody who is an all-rounder, who likes doing different things, who is not satisfied with doing one thing, almost you have ADHD. You might actually be a great entrepreneur because you need to sort of have multiple hats on. You need to divert your attention to multiple things during the day, and sometimes try and pay attention to one thing and focus. So it's an incredible experience. It's filled with challenges. I don't really want to scare you, but I think everybody is on their own journey.
I think the fun is to kind of experience some of these cycles, right? And these are huge cycles. I mean, you can be completely all by yourself, thinking, and that's what has been for me personally. Thinking, have I done the right thing? Have I not done the right thing? Why is that person behaving the way he's behaving, or she's behaving that way with me? Did I do the right pitch? Did I talk the right way? Did I utter one word extra which I ought not to have uttered in front of my client? A whole bunch of these cycles of self-introspection it's so important for us to kind of have. And that's the reason why I think that it's important for you to look beyond engineering and to look at these critical thinking contexts and understand that, look, technically you can be so sound, but some of these other aspects, if you're not able to kind of pitch for at the right context, in the right moment, you've lost that moment. And then you'll go back and revise yourself. And then, okay, there'll be a friend of yours who will come, chalo yaar, chalo beer peete hain ja karke. So it just kind of, the sorrow gets melted into that journey there. And then start afresh the very next day. So take it as it comes, day by day. I mean, that's the journey that we all go through for being what we have chosen for ourselves as being entrepreneurs, right? I think that's the beauty in it.
Perfectly, you have said. Every day is a new day. Every day you have to make a fresh resolve. Every day you have to start with new determination, and then only you can work forward. And step by step, one has to advance.
Correct. And I think you have to continuously self-reflect. I think that's the most. I mean, to me, if someone were to ask me this value of what is the most important skill that you develop, is to understand the ability to self-reflect. To me, that's important. To me, I constantly keep evaluating my own reactions, my own journey to different experiences. It could be people-led experiences. It could be knowledge-led experiences, and try and refine that in the next phase. I mean, that to me is where and you're bettering yourself, I mean, in that journey, and that's the idea. Sorry, I'm being very reflective on my own piece. Gunjan.
Thanks, Prashant. Before we get on to Q&A, my last question to you, Goldie ma'am, will be, I'll talk more from the societal, because I'm from the foundation and that's what we do in and out. But how do we kind of, within the college and within the students, you've been talking about edutech, and there are various causes, be it animal welfare, be it education, be it skill development. How do we kind of really promote that culture of students thinking on the social issues as well? That journey.
See, I got your question, Gunjan. I think this is a question with which I think all the universities are struggling with. Because still in India, we are in mindset with job. Because parents, whenever they come for admission, the only question is placement milega, nahi milega, job milega, nahi milega. So that is the mindset of most of the Indian parents. So first we have to change that mindset at the ground level. And I think with latest schemes which have been launched by government, like Digital India, Startup India, Make in India, so, and even this G20 presidency, so many initiatives have been taken. So we have to have, at ground level, we have to talk. It's a societal mindset change is required. Because we all look for jobs. So see here, in this interaction also we see today maybe some of the students, they go back and they do self-reflection, as you have said. Yes, if you're, if you are, the day-to-day survival is not an issue. If your parents are giving you, and I think it's better to take a risk, because as even our director general also said, it is always it's better to become an employment generator, creator than a seeker. Because then it's satisfying also, and it is also satisfying for the society. Obviously it takes lots of risk, but I think as a society now we are ready for that. Now we have come from that stage. Now even in some families I am seeing, maybe he's the right example here, where parents are encouraging their children to, they say we'll support you for next 5 years. You do whatever you want to do. So even in colleges now, like organizations like NESCOM Foundation, Sina Space, and we are talking many other, they are coming forward and see, you see this agenda. I was going through this agenda, what they have written. I think it's a beautiful agenda in 4 steps. Innovative ideas. See, when we were engineers, when we were students, nobody came to us. So they are helping you to bring your ideas. It's a very good idea, adoption of street dogs. So they can bring those ideas to life. They are not passive, they can become active. Then they are helping you to make prototypes. Even if you don't have money, they are there. Organizations are there who are supporting you. Then seed funding also you are getting. So much of support we are getting. So only I think it needs to change mindset, and I think this younger generation is now ready, and even our faculty members, they should also think that way. See, when in government colleges, they are giving spaces for their faculty members and their employees, some spaces, and they're also giving seed funding. No, from the
college context, I think, ma'am, we can also build for incubation centers, which I'm told you all will be just now getting up. So I think incubation centers could be one great way of leveraging these and spawning these ideas and the businesses that we're talking about.
They've written mentoring. So if you need mentoring on financials, you need mentoring on building social capital, whatever area, because entrepreneurship is a holistic, we all know. It's not only about technological skills. You need financial skills, you need cash flow statements, what is CAGR, you should know all these terms, debit, credit, which normally engineers, they don't know. So therefore, we have introduced one course, especially for how to startups in computing, startups, and special course, and which is totally, in that course, we are starting from how to start, and it takes up to what kind of company you have to formulate, whether it's a Section 25 company, a Section 8 company, or a private limited company. So, and it's totally a practical course which we are going to teach to these students because they don't know. So we are doing that. So these things we are also at our university level we are trying to do, because earlier these courses, economics padha diya, this, but this course, I can share the contents of that course. It starts from that, how to start, and it goes up to that, formulation, and all this, MCA, because they don't know MCA policies, that we have incorporated in that.
You rightly
That's
said it's
action
kind
what we
of
are
a
taking.
societal change that we need, and we do see those tiny baby steps being taken at an early, and if you see now schools, the schools are also preparing students to kind of think in that direction and, work on those ideas just to kind of, create that or spark that creativity inside them to kind of, work together and how we can really think towards it. Thank you so much, ma'am. Vijay, any last words from your end?
On that, I think just before I forget, I think what ma'am talked about finance, and this is coming from somebody who did not care at all about finance. I'm like, this is what an accountant will be there, he will do all this, I don't have to think, I will do my tech. But I'm telling you, one of the things, whether you become an entrepreneur or not, financial literacy is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself and your family and your lives. So keep that in mind in the future. I think inherently human beings are empathetic creatures. Your friend gets hurt, you will go and help him. Your friend calls up, I got into a fight, I need help. You will go and go wherever to help that person. I think it's just about priorities, because at this point in life, you are about, okay, fine, college is done, I need to get a job. It's just that empathy is buried down somewhere. I know coming from, a lot of my peers that after 2 years working in a job and supposedly living the dream, they get into this quarter life crisis, we call it. that, Arey, what am I doing with my life? I'm not fulfilled at all. And interestingly, a lot of them got into working with NGOs and social companies, which was very fulfilling for me. And eventually, I think everybody gets there where they start questioning, what am I doing with my life? It's just that at this point, that it might not be priority, but maybe it's our responsibility as educators to sort of have them understand themselves better at this point of life.
Yeah. And I think having said that, that's absolutely fine. If you're not ready, that's okay. Maybe after a few years, we do see a lot of change. And in fact, being from the foundation and Prashant, you as well, we see a lot of people coming from corporates. You know, there's that shift happening from IT industry. Like we have someone who's heading Tech for Good within NASCOM Foundation. He've left his job. He've been in US for almost like 25 years, and he left his job and he came back to India, and that's where it's like, okay, what do I do next? And let me, you know, get working for the foundation and let me do something better and meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what eventually will happen. Might as well make it happen much earlier with a program like this.
Right. Yeah. So now we can have, you know, anybody from the audience, if you have any questions for Vijay, Prashant, Goldie ma'am. No one? Vijay will also be one of your mentors. If you're planning to apply for Sienna Spaces, he'll also be one of your mentor who'll be there guiding you for that entire 1 year of your journey. So maybe if you have an idea, it's better to kind of ask him at this point of time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here afterwards, but it would be good to have somebody volunteer and just ask one question. I mean, just to get the ball rolling. I know a lot of you are shy, but don't be. I think we've got a great panel, and you know, I mean, I can only imagine if I was given this opportunity when I was in college, what I would do. So it does. Again, we're all human beings. We're like Sir said, we're not gods. We're just having a conversation here, and ultimately, we want to do the best for you. So if you have something in your mind, if you are reluctant, if you do not know if entrepreneurship is for you, if you are even worried about jobs, there are entrepreneurship or what are the within organizations having that entrepreneurial mindset. I think entrepreneurship is not necessarily that you need to start a company. It's about a mindset that you need to have that I believe will make you incredibly successful. So even if this program doesn't really lead you to start a successful company and it shuts down, I think the mindset that it might give you might ultimately might benefit society in some other way down the line. So I think you guys should take this opportunity, ask questions, and let's see where it goes.
And one thing from my end, just about what I just wanted to say was questions can only help you understand better. That's one of the ways of understanding where you are and where you stand. Questions. That's a form of learning.
Okay, we have
yes,
Hardik.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, esteemed panelists. This is Hardik. So my question to Vijay is, so I love playing the devil's advocate here, so that's why I'm asking you this question. A lot of times what happens is students start a startup, they bootstrap it, but in the middle of the journey, they realize that this is not something that we're really passionate about, or it's not something that is gonna be feasible. So what is your advice to those students who are gonna face this problem?
I think you spoke about two things. Passion and feasibility are completely different things. I think if you have enough data to say that, so again, feasibility in terms of say capital or human resource are problems that can be fixed. Feasibility in terms of whether it's actually a problem that is worth solving or whether there's a market for it or not, then definitely you can take the call to, it's a good call to stop. I think I battled this, especially when I was starting out and when I was not making enough money. Should I be going forward? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing something else? And I think over there it is that passion issue where passion will wane and wane, it'll come and go. And it's about the discipline that you need to inculcate. And I think Sir talked to it. It's that self-awareness that this is what's going on in your mind. Your mind loves playing tricks on you, especially when you're going through a lot of adversity. It loves saying that you're not capable. This will never happen. This will never work out. But it's almost like I remember I went to an amusement park, and one of the tallest water slides. And the feeling that I got at the top of the water slide, where I was scared of going down that, was weirdly the same feeling that I get when, say, I'm going into a pitch meeting or starting a new initiative in the company, where I'm incredibly afraid of what might happen, without it even happening at all. It's all khayali pula, basically.
Yeah, but at the end of it, you're going to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, see, once it starts, right, once it gets the ball rolling, then it's on you. Yeah, it just keeps on going. You don't even have time to think about, whether I'm capable or not. You just have to sort of start doing things. And this is sort of a hack that I do. For example, when I was raising funds for going to Antarctica with the world's first 3D printed wind turbine, I had to raise some 10 lakhs of money. So I obviously I had that same apprehension. I know that all of the girls who used to raise the funds were capable of it, but will an engineer guy will be able to raise the funds to go to Antarctica? But I remember what I did was, the first thing that I did, I posted on social media that I'm doing this. I'm going to Antarctica. And then it was just that, I have already told the world, now I have to make it happen one way or the other. I remember that most of the times I pushed myself to do social media posts and blogs and everything just because I had already told the world that I'm going, and if I don't go, then I will lose face. So I knew that my mind works that way, so I have hacks to sort of short circuit my mind. So I think the biggest thing as an entrepreneur is understanding yourself and having the self-awareness, knowing where your mind starts playing tricks on you, and understanding how you can short circuit your mind when you have that passion will issue. So your passion is different, your feasibility thing is different. I think even when the feasibility is very important for you to also know where your mind is playing tricks on you, saying that, no, I will make it done. Having that ego that, no, whatever I will do, somehow one way or the other, I will be successful and I will push this through. So having that awareness, saying that, okay, fine, it's probably time to sort of shut this thing down is honorable. I think in the startup circles, being a failed entrepreneur is a badge of honor, and it's not something that you need to be ashamed of. It's just that you've gone through something, you've learned incredible amounts of having lots of learning, and then you're going to go into a next endeavor. And I know so many failed entrepreneurs, they always get back up and do something even better.
Thanks.
Any more questions?
I think the mantra what Mr. Vijay has given to all of you is never to be defeated approach. Keep on trying, and never be defeated.
Good afternoon, sir. So I would like to ask, sir, whenever I'm looking at a problem statement that, ideas for a startup, I always look at the surface level, and I think it's an easy it's easy cure that I can, solve it. And as I progress and I see the problems, as I dive into it, as I research, I see that the problem begins to become very large and very difficult to solve. And in that state, I just give up on the idea itself. So, sir, you must have also had some cases where you must have felt these situations. How can you deal with these?
So, I think, it's very complicated. This is again one of those mindset-oriented things, where definitely when you start peeling the onion, you will start crying. But it's about whether, I think you need to find that motivation factor. At least that's what works for me. Where if the problem that you're trying to solve, if that is a big enough problem, will it create enough impact? So for example, issue with blindness is a huge issue. But I felt that me being an engineer, I can do one thing, having this person access their smartphone a lot more easier. I think another thing about engineers is about breaking things into pieces, right? Project management and all are breaking things into smaller pieces. You don't have to attack the entire problem at one go. What is the, again, you even talk about MVP, your minimal viable product, your minimal viable solution. What is the least amount of things that you can do? What is the smallest subset of the problem that you can attack that will create the maximum impact, and you go from there. And again, this is another way of short circuiting. You get a hit of dopamine that, okay, I got my first customer, I sold my first product, or I've gotten this metric through which I'm measuring my success has gone up, and that will give you the enthusiasm to go on forward. And even when it doesn't, even when you have failures, I think failures are also, I think, again, engineering thought process. When you have a result, whether it's that experiment is a success or a failure, it's a learning opportunity which will guide you in the next phase or whatever you're doing next. So every failure is an opportunity, or every obstacle is an opportunity for you to learn and guide yourself. And in the entire sort of grand scheme of things, I like to sort of think about it as a car. You will not be, when you start, right? A lot of times you never start the car. And at the same time, it's not a straight road. You will have to sort of keep on correcting yourself as you go down that very windy road of entrepreneurship. But unless you start, you will never know what turns you would need to take. And in most cases, human beings are smart enough to figure it out on the spot. But you can't sort of premeditate all the steps that you can take. But sometimes the only thing holding you back is starting.
So good afternoon, esteemed panelists and my fellow mates. So my question is that what is your advice for a student who is currently in college and also working on their startup? So should they focus more on college on their startup?
I'll tell you something interesting that happened. I was a 6.57 GPA student until second year. When I started my company, I went to straight 9s, and my final semester went to 10. I'll tell you what exactly happened. My entrepreneurship journey, whatever I was trying out, like especially in the most boring subjects, like I had this engineering economics or something, and I had supply chain management. I was engrossed into those subjects because I saw the practical application of it in the real world. Sometimes whatever you, and especially because I was making something technical, I excelled in all my technical subjects because I would pick out something or the other that I would say, okay, fine, this is going to help me in my company, I'm going to start learning this and pay attention to this. But I think the great thing about entrepreneurship, it doesn't have to be either or, it is and. Where ultimately you are learning engineering to be able to be capable in the real world. And this entrepreneurship, if you're doing it right now, you already have that part of the real world inside you, and you can get what you are learning from in college. Like if you have a finance course, you need to be completely engrossed in it and excel in it, and my perspective was not that I need to get marks. Marks was the side effect. I did my best because I understood those subjects. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be either or. You don't have to be compromised on your education because of entrepreneurship.
Anyone else from the audience? Do we have any more questions for the panelist? I think we're good here then. Thank you so much, Goldie ma'am. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, Prashant, for taking out this time. And I think just spending more time with the students here, telling them about, the journey, the entrepreneurship journey, and what are the things that they need to take care of if this is something that they are keen on. And of course, through our CNR programs and Cisco Incubator programs. Thank you so much once again. Over to you, Hardik.
A special thanks to our esteemed panelists for having such an amazing discussion today. Now I would like to invite Professor Dipali Virmani to present a token of appreciation to our esteemed panelists. Ms. Gunjan Lal. Mr. Prashant Kakkar. Mr. Vijay Raghav Varada. I would now like to invite Professor Goldie Gabrani to give the token of appreciation to Mr. Vijay Raghav Varada. And now I would like to invite Ms. Rashmi Lohani from our team here at NASCOM Foundation to give a token of appreciation to Professor Dipali Virmani and to Dr. Gopal sir. Professor Goldie Gabrani. Professor Dipali Virmani. On behalf of NASCOM Foundation and Sienna Spaces team, we would like to thank Mr. Vineet Vats, Vice Chairman VSE&T, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Sharma, Director General WIPS TC, Professor Goldie Gabrani, Director WIPS TC, School of Engineering and Technology, Professor Supriya Madan, Dean VSIT, Professor Dipali Virmani, Head of Department VSE&T, and to Dr. Gopal sir for their constant support for making this event a huge success. My personal thanks goes to our esteemed panelists, Ms. Gunjan Lal, Mr. Prashant Kakkar, Mr. Vijay Raghav Varada for having such a value-creating discussion with the students. And thanks to our wonderful audience for being so engaging. This has been an amazing crowd, and we hope to receive huge participations for our next cohort here at Sienna Spaces. Thank you, everyone.